Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're talking about a subject that a lot of people don't like to discuss, but it's something that's very necessary and something that really needs to be discussed. We're talking about wills and trusts. This is a subject that people try to avoid because a lot of people don't really want to think about their demise or their death in that way. So they put it off, and they don't really take care of those necessary things and do the due diligence that it needs to be done to make sure that this thing is taken care of. What do you think about that, Diane?
That is correct. The Bible says that a good man leaves his children's children an inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
And in preparation for life, you also have to prepare for death.
That's right. Because
life and death are simultaneous. And when I say simultaneous, they're both going to happen inevitably. When you are born, you're born to die. And then at some point, unbeknownst to us, death comes, whether you're ready or not. And in today's segment, we want to help you to become prepared for your final demise. When you look at death, it can come suddenly, unexpectedly, or it can linger over a period of time, depending on if you have a chronic illness and it just goes and you last for 10 years or 5 years or 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at preparation, you want to make sure that you have insurance, whether it's whole life or term life. That is a whole different subject of how to select the type of insurance that you choose, because there's a vast difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So we won't cover that today. We do have a segment on insurance, but we may do another one just to remind people of what that encompasses.
Mm-hmm.
When you work, your company pays a big portion of your life insurance, and the employee is able to get double or triple their salaries to compensate for their being taken away. Also, when you are insured, not only can you insure yourself as the employee, you can insure your spouse and your children.
That's right.
Everybody needs insurance. They need health insurance, they need life insurance, because somebody's got to pay for your final cost.
That's right.
Now, my husband has always taught me, when you're working, because it's so cheap, I say it's kind of free, because by the time you pay that separate company, if you're not working, you're paying $50, $60, sometimes even $100 a month for life insurance that you probably will never ever use for 30 or 40 years. Life expectancy for females are age 78, males are 77. And so if you live your full life, you've paid for your final cost and some. A funeral in the state of Indiana ranges from between $10,000 and $12,000, and that's just a simple funeral. That includes your vault, your casket, your funeral expenses, the motorcade or the escorts, your hairdresser, all of those things. Your embalming is included in that $10,000 to $12,000. Unfortunately, most people, and I believe the stats say 78% of people don't have wills and trusts, which Maurice is going to discuss in just a minute. But in so doing, not only do they not have wills and trusts, they don't have costs and final expenses to bury themselves.
That's right.
You have to have money to open and close your grave or the burial spot that you're going to be in. And in addition to the opening and closing, as I said, you have those funeral expenses as well. So we need to make sure that the transition for our loved ones is as easy as possible, as seamless as possible, because they're already going to be grieving at the loss of that person.
Mm-hmm.
And always, 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 there is mass pandemonium and chaos generally wreaking in every family when they lose someone. I don't know why, but the worst of people comes out during the time of someone's demise. So to make this as smooth as possible, we as individuals need to prepare financially to give them peace at our separation, at our leaving. So the Bible says that, as I said, a good man leaves his children's children an inheritance, and we want to leave a legacy for our family. Not one of incompetence, not one of lacking and shirking our duties and responsibilities, but we want to leave our children in as good a shape as they can be. Life is hard. And so we want them to surpass us in their future endeavors. So Maurice is going to talk about our wills and trusts and how we go about taking care of that.
That's right. Like my wife had stated, 78% of the people that die do not have a will or trust in place.
Sure.
Now that's a big number. And that lets you know that most people are not taking care of this, and they're not doing their due diligence and making sure that things are in place so when they die. And I know it's a subject that people don't like to talk about because death is inevitable, but people don't like to talk about it. They like to put it off like it will never happen. But guess what? It's gonna happen. It's just a part of life. So you need to deal with it so that you don't leave that burden on your people that you leave behind. So you don't want them to be burdened with the fact of, well, what's going to happen to the state and what's going to happen to this, that, and other things, and because you didn't have a will or a trust in place. The other big thing is that a lot of people don't prepare, like it's been forestated, they don't prepare for their funeral expenses. So now you're dealing with the grief of losing a loved one, but you get also compound by the financial burden of not having the money. It behooves each and every one of us to prepare, making these arrangements prior to this, so that while a person's going through the grieving process, they don't have to worry about the finance issues. And that's not even talking about making sure that you are prepared in a way of religious and that your beliefs are in place, and that when you leave here, you have the proper place to go to. That's a whole nother subject. We'll talk about that at another time. But today we're talking about wills and trusts and preparing financially so that you can bury your loved ones. So this is something that needs to be said because so many of our loved ones, so many people that we know, they get to the point where their loved ones die off and nobody has made those arrangements and nobody has put things in place to take care of those situations. So this is something that's really needs to be talked about, and we really need to take control of this and make sure that things are in place. Right, Diane?
Sure, and make sure that you have told your family, informed your family of who's going to be your doable power of attorney, your medical power of attorney. And the medical power of attorney is very important because they have to guide the doctors according to your final wishes as to what you would want to be done to preserve your life. Everybody needs to be made aware of that so it doesn't take anybody by surprise. But the thing is, if it's incorporated into that will, then everybody will know at some point or another. So in the meantime, this is Lady Di and Maurice coming to you today with tips on making final preparations for your end of life wishes. So in the meantime, we want you to have a blessed week, live long and prosper.
We hope that these videos help you guys, and stay tuned for more to come. Peace.